Thank you all for participating in our first ever virtual career fair. Today we're very honored to have Yes Prep Public Schools out of Houston, and my good friend Sarah Murphy is here to facilitate this. Sarah's come on campus multiple times for information sessions and job fairs, so she is back and she's going to be talking about some really great opportunities on how to join Yes Prep. For the key word here is any major. So Sarah, welcome, and thank you for participating this morning.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Good morning to all of you. Thank you for joining me today. Like Andrew said, my name is Sarah, and I'm a manager of recruitment with Yes Prep. And I have worked in education for 11 years and been at Yes Prep for 8. I'm really excited to speak with you today about our organization and tell you about opportunities for undergraduates as well as for those of you who are graduating. And so we'll go ahead and get started with Yes Prep Public Schools. So Yes Prep Public Schools, there we go, exists because of these numbers. So nationally, across the United States, if you want to predict whether or not someone is going to graduate from a four-year university, the number one factor that will tell you whether or not they're going to graduate is their zip code. Students from underserved or low-income communities have a 1 in 10 chance of graduating from a four-year university. And in the city of Houston, that number is even lower. Only 8%, actually less than 8% of students from low-income communities are going to graduate from a four-year university. And about 18 years ago, the founder of Yes Prep Public Schools, Chris Barbick, saw those numbers, saw his students leaving middle school, and it was incredibly uncertain whether or not they were going to continue to receive a high-quality education, and he thought that that was unfair. And so Yes Prep was founded on the belief that every single student in every single zip code deserves an excellent educational opportunity. And so, again, for almost 18 years, we have existed with the mission that 100% of our students will be accepted to a 2- or 4-year university. And our students are achieving incredible gains. They're making incredible gains. They're achieving incredible goals. Our students do take the STAR test. They participate in state-mandated tests and are outperforming their peers. Our students are moving on to college at a rate of 96% in the first year. And we're seeing 72% graduate in 5 years or less. Our hope is that 100% of our students will graduate, but 72 is better than 8. And so again, we are committed to being the best place for students. We've been awarded prizes such as Top 10 School in Houston, Best Charter School in the nation, and a Top 100 School in the nation. But we also want to be the best place for professionals. And so for the past 6 years, Yes Prep has been nominated as a best place to work in Houston, and we were voted #1 in the entire city up against all employers in the year 2013. So we are committed to being the best place for students, for parents, and for professionals. And so let me tell you more about us. And so like I said, we do exist exclusively in Houston, Texas. We have currently 15 campuses around the city. And we exist because students, like I mentioned, in particular zip codes, do not have not had choice when it comes to a high-quality education. This visual represents 5,600 students who are on a waiting list. Students who have said that they wish for a different choice when it comes to their education. And these are students who are on a waiting list for either a spot at a Yes Prep school or a KIPP Houston school, and there is not a spot for them. So almost 6,000 kids who have said that the school where they're currently attending, they don't believe is going to set them up for success. And Yes Prep exists because of these numbers. We know that students and families want choice when it comes to where they're going to receive their education. And so we are a public school system redefining possible. A lot of questions that I get about Yes Prep, people are just wondering about charter schools. And so we are a public school. Our students are not paying any amount to attend. Our students are not taking a test to get in. Our students are simply filling out their information, and then a computer chooses who comes. So we have students receiving special education services. We have students performing above grade level. We are completely reflective of a public school. One difference that comes with charter schools, we do have set number of seats, so about 150 spots per grade level. So that is one difference. We do have fewer students in each grade level, but again, completely reflective of a public school. And so right now, these are our numbers. We have 15 schools in Houston, opening school number 16 next year. We're serving 10,000 students, which is 10% of the school-age children, grades 6 to 12, in Houston. And so in the 4th largest city in the nation, we're serving 10% of their kids. And we are driven by our mission. Again, we exist to make sure that our students are ready to attend college and lead in college and after. And I'm here, speaking with you, students from St. Edward's University, because we believe that people are the source of our strength. We are committed to finding top talent for internship opportunities, full-time opportunities, to do great things for our school system and for our students. We are a system of schools that embrace and protect diversity to advance equity and social justice. And so specifically, all these 4 principles are something about which we're very passionate. So number 1, all means all. Like I mentioned, we serve students of all needs, all abilities, and we work with them to set them up for success in their middle school, high school, and their college academic opportunities. We believe that there are significant benefits that students experience when they have teachers from diversity of backgrounds. So there are academic and social benefits to students when their teaching population is diverse. And every single one of our staff members, both in the classroom and out, is developed in terms of cultural competency, so that we're learning and being sharpened in terms of our skills and cultural competence. And so if you are a graduating senior and you've majored in any chosen major of any field of your choice, and you're thinking, I am interested in being a teacher, but I don't yet have a teaching certificate, or if you are certified and you're interested in joining a school, I think a great question to always ask is, how do you support first-year teachers? And so for all of our teachers, whether they're certified or not, we have a program called Teaching Excellence that provides summer training, monthly training, and the support of an instructional coach. So one person whose full-time job is to observe, give feedback, video, and just coach you every single week to 2 weeks during that first year of teaching. And all of that culminates, if you're not yet certified, you're earning your certification while you are teaching full-time. You're earning a salary, and that certification is good anywhere in the state of Texas. We believe that teaching is a vocation that deserves to be honored, not just in gestures or in thoughts, but financially. And so starting salary for a first-year teacher at Yes Prep is $48,000. Our starting salary is a little bit lower than other public school systems. However, the difference comes in the opportunities to earn after that first year. So we believe in honoring or in making sure that teachers feel financially compensated for the hard work that they're doing. And so we see teachers in year 3 or year 5 earning $60,000, $80,000. Again, we want to literally put our money where our mouth is. If we say we believe that teachers need to be excellent and it matters tremendously to have a great teacher, we want to make sure that the financial opportunities match that. Additionally, we want to make sure that all of our staff members feel that they are coached and developed in either becoming a great teacher or becoming a leader outside of the classroom. And so we offer an optional program called Leading Excellence, where leaders at Yes Prep can opt into receiving coaching, receiving development from professionals within our organization. And so like I said, we are expanding our impact. Right now we have 15 schools. We're opening school number 16 next year with the vision of adding additional schools to ultimately serve 18,000 students or more in the greater Houston area. And so, again, for undergraduate opportunities or for full-time opportunities, we sincerely hope that if you believe that all students deserve access to an amazing education, if you believe that you are ready to do hard work but to be developed and supported, we hope that you'll help us define our next chapter. And so, for full-time positions, we do have an application open right now up until April 25th. We have a robust interview process that gives you a chance to know us and also gives us a chance to know you. The last step in our process is actually teaching a lesson on a Yes Prep campus. So we want to make sure, again, that you're getting feedback during your interview process. If you're an undergraduate, we have a few internship opportunities that are available in the city of Houston over the summer. Okay, and like I said, that is me, and I know that was a lot of information that I just shared with you all, but I'm incredibly excited to answer any questions that you have. And so I just want to take a moment and see if there are any questions.
All right, Sarah, thank you so much. So I know there's many students who may be considering teaching at a public school or perhaps even a private school. What are some of your thoughts on maybe what a student should be doing to be deciding which is the best fit for them? And I know also charter schools can be very different among just charter schools as well.
Yeah, I think anytime you're considering a full-time opportunity in any field, I think researching the schools or the programs or the places where you're considering to work. And then I really think it's important to just ask, what professional development do you offer for your staff members? For teaching specifically, I think it's incredible to talk to the staff about what do you do to support first-year teachers? Because, again, the teaching profession, specifically in that first year, is very difficult. And so just knowing what does support look like? What does professional development look like? What opportunities do you have for, like, what are other opportunities that you offer to staff members? So I just think researching and knowing what a company is passionate about, what they're committed to, and then also asking how they support and develop you is really important. I see a question about, do you have any plans to expand outside of the Houston metro area? Right now, we are exclusively expanding within Houston. Good question.
And I think we have another question about internships at Yes Prep.
Great question. So our current internship is working with our first-year teacher program. So like I mentioned, we have a first-year teacher program, and we are serving 300 teachers who are in their first year. Not just the Yes Prep, but we've actually been hired by Spring Branch and KIPP Houston. And so that internship, to be fully transparent, I know that they are conducting interviews, so there might not be a ton of spots left, but it's a chance to help with the logistics, the operations, and really it's 2.5 weeks of professional development from 8 until 5, and so we need a lot of folks helping with the logistics, coordination, and just the operations management of that huge event. We've also got one that is working with our, and this might not be posted yet, but it's more analytics and analyzing data.
Okay. Another question that we have, what specific skills are you searching for in the interview process?
Great question. Excellent question. I think that in our interview process, we have 5 core values at Yes Prep. I think we're looking for 3 in the interview process. One core value is achieve jaw-dropping results. So we're looking for people who are ready to work really hard. Additionally, our second core value that we're looking for is to build transformative relationships. So we're looking for people who are comfortable, specifically as a teacher, we're looking for people who are ready to build relationships with students, with parents, with their colleagues, with their instructional coach. And then the third is we are looking for people who are ready to grow as humble leaders. So we give a lot of feedback at Yes Prep, and we know that that in any role you're going to make mistakes, and it's critical to know where your areas for growth are and to be ready just to take feedback and to learn from it and implement that. So growing as humble leaders means being comfortable with leadership and taking on opportunities to really drive visionary change, but then that humility part as being excited about hearing where you can grow and then implementing that to be great for students. Something else that I mentioned, if you're thinking, wow, Yes Prep sounds really great, I'm not so sure about the teaching, maybe you're not interested in teaching, we do have one entry-level position that's non-instructional. It's a campus executive assistant, and it would be working with our school directors to help with organizing their calendar, pretty much working to schedule their day, and also this role offers an opportunity to participate in the hiring process of teachers. So you would get to be part of the campus leadership team and really help innovate in that regard. So again, it's a non-instructional role, but it is on a school campus.
And that's a great transition to another question I was going to pose. After an individual maybe teaches for a couple of years, like yourself, can you talk about, or just maybe list some of the other opportunities that are available within the Yes Prep system?
Yes. So number one, if someone is passionate about teaching and wants to get really great at it, we definitely want to develop them and help them grow as a teacher. And like I said, be compensated very, very competitively for that. If someone wishes to stay with the organization and grow in other capacities, my brother started with Yes Prep as a teacher, and he now works as an athletic director. So he really wants to coach coaches and develop athletic programs, and so that's one avenue. Because we're an organization of 1,000 people, there's a ton of opportunities, and we're opening new campuses, so there's many opportunities to lead on a campus in terms of serving as a dean of students or the equivalent of an assistant principal. Or if you're really interested in planning and curriculum, there's opportunities to, so when I taught middle school English, I would meet with all the other 6th grade English teachers. And there was one person whose full-time job was to create the lesson plans we were doing, to create professional development for us. So if you're super passionate about planning and maybe your particular content area like science or history, you can grow and lead teachers to be great at teaching those certain areas. So the options are endless, and we really, again, that's something about which we're passionate, is really developing our talent to be their best professional selves, wherever that might be.
Sometimes students are interested after they start teaching to go back to graduate school. Does Yes Prep offer any type of, I guess, a minimum supportive environment to accomplish that?
Yes. So we have a partnership with a school called Relay Graduate School of Education. Our first-year teacher program, so Teaching Excellence, for every single first-year teacher, everybody's in that program. Our curriculum aligns directly to the Relay Graduate School of Education. So in your second year or beyond, while you're teaching full-time, you can earn a master's in English or special education or whatever you're teaching while you're teaching full-time. So we do have a partnership with there's a discounted rate for teachers from Yes Prep who are interested in that program.
I think this question actually goes back to the first year. If an applicant is not an education major nor has teacher certification, what does that certification process look like?
Yes. So let's say someone is graduating, they've majored in anything, and they're hired to teach with Yes Prep. As soon as you're hired, we enroll you in Teaching Excellence. Starting July 6th, all of our first-year teachers, whether they're certified or not, they come, they're in Houston, and we start 2.5 weeks of training called our induction. And induction is really focused on the fundamentals. So the essentials of classroom management, lesson planning, routines and procedures, just the beginning, because 2.5 weeks, we can't teach you everything. But we start in July, we teach you those fundamentals, and then you go, so that's from 8 until 5, every day for 2.5 weeks. That goes towards your certification. Then you go to campus, you start teaching full-time. Every month on one Saturday, you have another full day from 8 until 3 of professional development. It's going to be on just pedagogy, like differentiation or group instruction or whatever you need. All of that coursework, again, is tied to your certification. And then every time you meet with your instructional coach, so that one person whose job is to observe you, give you feedback, that also goes toward your certification. So you're teaching full-time, you're being developed and coached and supported, and you're earning your certification at the same time. So by the time you finish your first year of teaching, around actually April or May of your first year, you've earned a certificate that means you're a certified teacher that's good anywhere in the state of Texas. So if if you're graduating and you're thinking, I really want to teach, I don't have that credential yet, that's okay. We're actually able to provide that through a really robust support program. Great question.
Okay. Well, I want to give our participants an opportunity to submit any last questions. Sarah, do you have any, maybe even personal inspirational moments that really helped you decide this was the career for me?
So I actually heard about Yes Prep when I was at a concert, actually. I was going to a concession stand at a Foo Fighters concert, and I was going to go get like a Dr. Pepper, and there were high school students working at the concession stand, and there was a sign that said Yes Prep. I was like, what is this? And they said, YES stands for Youth Engaged in Service. And every 6 weeks we do community service. And we're here at this booth to raise funds to go on a trip this summer to India to do service and to learn and to do an exchange. And I was just amazed. And they told me about, in high school, they have an extra class that's on SAT prep, college application preparation. They told me that every single student visits 40 college campuses before they graduate. And so these were just Yes Prep students just doing what they do. And I happened to encounter them, and I knew that I needed to be part of an organization that was doing that for students. And now that I've been with Yes Prep for 8 years, I taught middle school English, and the students I taught in 6th grade, I taught them again in 8th grade. They're freshmen in college now. There are 2 at St. Edward's. And so I've gotten to see them on campus and to see our students just like succeed and excel because of their hard work, because of the deep commitment that Yes Prep has to just being the best place for kids. I've been incredibly fortunate to work with Yes Prep, and I'm very, very thankful. So yeah, that is one of the things I love, is that I found out about Yes Prep just because they were just doing what they do, which is giving great opportunities to kids. And I love, love, love that I work for a place that does that.
Good. And as you know, St. Edward's is a very mission-driven institution. I believe our students take that to heart, so I think that's a perfect way to end this. Sarah, is there anything else you'd like to share with our attendees and our students?
Yeah, so I see one more question about like how soon can we hear back? And number one, I really want to, let me go back to the slide that has my my information. I think, especially as you're entering into an interview process, I think it's critical that you feel that you're receiving timely updates, that you know where you are. And so this is my email address, sarah.murphy@yesprep.org. And my full-time job is to answer questions, to be a resource. If you're on the website and it's, it's not working, or you have questions about, what to do in the process, like, reach out to me. Again, that's my full-time job. So to answer the specific question about how soon should we receive an update, We are working with a sense of urgency, specifically for teaching positions. Like I said, we start training our teachers in early July. So that interview process has 4 steps. Each step, we work to notify you within a week or less. So our average entire interview process is around 21 days. It can take longer, but we try to work with a sense of urgency. And again, if you're in process and you have questions, please reach out to me, because I would love to find an answer or provide additional information.
Well, thank you very much, Sarah, for joining us and participating in our first ever virtual career fair. I think some great opportunities, and thank you for answering questions. And if any students or alumni have some questions about alumni, or have questions about resume or any career development, interview, any of those kinds of things, just come over to our office in Moody Hall 134 or give us a call. We'll be happy to help. So again, Sarah, thank you so much, and everybody have a great day. Our last session will begin today at 11 o'clock. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.